Is the microphone on? Can everybody hear me here? Yes. Microphone good? You can't hear me? Well, I can get loud now. We can do it. We can do it Derek Moore style if you want to. As I always do, I just want to start off by saying thank you. And I have a lot of thank yous to hand out there. But first of all, oh, wow, what an introduction. Thanks, Scotty. But I want to give thanks real quick. And so I want to read something to you. This verse is from Philippians 3:13 through 14. It says, "Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Jesus Christ." Amen. So let's just start with a prayer. Dear Lord, thank you. We just want to tell you thank you today. We don't want to ask you for anything. We just want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity. We want to thank you for this amazing and just unbelievable group of people, this company. And just thank you for allowing us to put our feet on the ground this morning and do everything that's pleasing to you in your sight. And thank you so much for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died upon the cross to save us from our sins. And it's in His name we say this prayer. Amen. Amen. Thanks. Thanks for allowing me to start that way. That typically calms me down. And the reason why it does is because I can feel that spirit right here. And I can feel it in the room too. I want to tell you something. I'm a Christian, but I'm not perfect. Okay? So I want everybody to understand that. I'm a Christian, but I'm not perfect. And I'm thankful that I have that opportunity. Okay? So thank you. I just want to start by saying, first of all, I met Scotty a couple of years ago. Made a convention with Foresters, and we were on the flight over there, and this guy, I think it was Jamie Moats, me and Jamie started talking because we knew each other from a previous convention, and then all of a sudden this guy Scotty Elliott pops out of nowhere, and we're on the airplane talking, and he's sitting beside me for like 3 hours, you know, and this guy's throwing out words. I'm like, I almost needed a translator. This guy's vocabulary is like this. I don't even have enough room in the room to put his words in, and I'm like, man. And I told my wife was like, who is that? I said, I don't know, but I need a dictionary. But it was a great conversation, and you know, me and Scotty built a great relationship along the way, and I mean, he has just been an outstanding and amazing friend to me. And I thought when I got back from Switzerland, I said, I'm sure enough going to get a One Life packet in the mail when I get back. But let me tell you what this guy sent me. He sent me a Bible. That's never happened to me. And it speaks a lot about Scotty. So I'm thankful for you, Scotty, and thanks for the kind words. And unbelievable. I appreciate your friendship. Then I meet this guy. His name's Scott Glanton. And I'm like, well, there's got to be something to it. I mean, this Scotty guy, he's real, but I'm going to figure this one out. And then I meet Scott Glanton. Man, it's just as real as it was with Scotty. And I said, wow, this is getting even better. And then I meet another guy. His name was Wade Parker and Ken Parker. And I said, what a great opportunity to meet these guys. And I got to go out to the farm. And these guys just opened their arms up like family. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. This thing's getting better and better. I don't want to leave anybody out here. And then I get, as time goes on, I get the opportunity to meet this guy named Derek Moore. And everybody in this room knows who that is. And, excuse me for a second. Scotty encouraged me. He said, call Derek. He said, call Derek. Just call him, Keith, and talk to him. Man, this guy right here can pump so much spirit into you. He's an amazing dude. So I pondered on that. Finally, one day I called him up, and we had a little chat. We talked for a couple minutes, and then that was the end of the conversation. And I was struggling with something one day. I'm not going to get in. I knew this would happen. But I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. But I called Derek up one night, Anybody that knows me know I stay up late. So I called him. I was like, I'm going to take a shot at it. It's like 10:45. He answered the phone. I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I talked to Derek about kind of what I was struggling with, and he said, Keith, let me ask you a question. He said, do you have a problem or do you have a challenge? I said, Derek, I don't know. I ain't really thought about it like that. And he said, if you got a problem, you might as well throw in the towel. But if you got a challenge, you're a competitor, and I know you can overcome it. So my point when I say this is these guys are part of my outside support system. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this as we go. These guys are part of my outside support system. They are family. I was talking to Benji on the way over here, and I said, let me tell you something. I'm on the outside looking in. If you get up and leave this organization, you've left the best thing you've ever had in your life because of these people sitting in this room. And I've known Lee Mowry for a long time. He's always been a great guy to me. First time I met the guy, he walks up to me on a convention, puts his arm around me and said, son, man, you did a good job. And I turned and looked over to my right. I said, who are you, dude? He said, I'm Lee Mowry. I said, okay. So that's Lee for you. You know, he's going to pop out of a cupcake on you and say hello. But you know what? He's family too. He's family too. So, you know, I could go on and on and on about these guys, but I will tell you one thing that's most important to me is that they're family to me. And I know that I can call on these guys anytime I want to, and they're going to be there for me. I was talking to somebody outside last night. Once again, I was up late. And we were just talking about the portfolio that Derek was talking about yesterday. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm wealthy. And he just looked at me. I said, isn't it a great feeling to know that you've got at least 100 people in your contacts, in your cell phone, that would come and change your tire if you went down on the side of the road? I'm wealthy. I'm wealthy. And that, in a nutshell, is what this insurance business has done for me. Okay? So I want to talk a little bit more about support system and how important that is. The number one reason why I have been successful in the insurance business is because I've had a support system. And I believe everybody sitting in this room, if you don't have one, get one. You've already got it here. You've got to go after it. That's your outside support system. My inside support system is my wife. She is my number one fan. I would have never sold $1 of insurance if it wouldn't have been for that woman kicking me out of bed every morning and say, come on, Keith, let's go. You got to go, baby. We got a mortgage to pay. Come on, we got a car payment to make. And she knows just as well as I do, I like to sleep late. Dad knows that too. It's hard for me to wake up in the morning. And Dad told me one time, he said, you know, Keith, you can't, what did he say? He said, Keith, you can't stay up with the owls and soar with the eagles. I said, I guarantee you one thing, I'll be the best owl you ever seen. So my inside support system is my wife. She has done an amazing job just bonding and gluing my family together. And she has been a tremendous fan of mine when it comes to the insurance business. So that's my inside support system. My outside support system are people like Bobby Maddox sitting back there in that room, Tyler Jackson, Nick Poe, my partner Trip Davis. And my most important outside support system is my father. That's Joe Little. Joe Little has taught me everything that I know about sales. And he taught me how to do it right, and he taught me how to do a lot of it. When I was 10 years old, my father would call me. He was in textiles. He was a textile salesman. My father would call me when I was 10 years old and talk to me and tell me what was going on his job. There was no way I could understand what he was talking about, but he was teaching me. He was teaching me. He started from day one teaching me how to be a salesperson, how to bring people around you, how to be positive, how to be a good influence, and how to put your family name on your back and wear that jersey with pride. And knowing that everything you do is a reflection on your family. That was my father. He did that for me. And he started at a very early age. My mother, when I was playing baseball in high school, I can remember it like it was yesterday. I'd come up and it'd be the bottom of the sixth, and I needed a big hit to tie the ball game. And she knew I was standing there just nervous as a cat. And here I'm coming to the plate, and she looked over at me and she said, "Son, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and do what you've been taught to do." So I'm going to get back to the success part. Do what you've been taught to do, and you will be successful in the insurance business. I started at American General Life in 1999. I was playing fast pitch softball. I played on a semi-pro fast pitch softball circuit for 7 years. And these guys out there throwing 85, 90 miles an hour underhanded. It was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And one day, when me and my wife were dating, she came up to me and she said, "Keith, we might have a problem." And I said, "What's that?" She said, "I think I'm pregnant." I said, "Oh, goodness." I didn't have a job. Softball didn't pay much money. All they did was buy you an airplane ticket and a uniform. So I knew that wasn't going to get the bills paid. So she took a pregnancy test and she was pregnant. And she looked at me and she said, "What are we going to do?" I said, "We're going to raise a family together. And we're going to do it right. Because I love you and you love me." And then we looked at each other. She said, "Well, how are we going to tell all of our family members?" I said, I don't know. Because I think they're going to be mighty disappointed. And she was like, "Well, you go first." I said, "Okay." So the most comfortable person was my dad to call, right? So I said, "Okay, I'm going to call Dad." So I called Dad up. I said, "Hey, Dad, I found out some news today." He said, "Okay, son, what is it?" I said, "Well, Robin's pregnant." And he goes, "Well, Keith, have y'all figured out what caused it yet?" I knew that'd be the easiest one to get out of the way, but we got all that out of the way. And I say all this to say this. It brought me to the insurance business because I knew at that point in time I had to do something. And I had a friend of mine that I played ball with. His dad was a manager at American General Life. And he said, "Keith, go down there and talk to my dad. He'll talk to you about being an agent with American General." And I said, "Okay, I'll do that." I didn't even know what insurance was. I had no idea. All I knew is that I knew what a baseball bat was and a baseball, but I had no idea what insurance was. Never had it in my life, never had to deal with it, never had to pay for it. And I was 22 years old at the time. I was scared to death. So I go down and I talk to the manager at American General. He said, "Man, we'll pay you $500 a week to train." I said, "Do what?" "Sign me up." And he looked at me that night, and this guy had a big old curl on the top of his head. We called him Curly Q. And he looked me, when he dropped that head down like that, looked at me, and all I could see was that curl. So I was internally just dying with laughter. And he looked at me and he said, "Son, you're going to be my little project." I said, "Oh, Lord, what in the world I done got myself into now?" But all I knew is I was going to make $500 a week, and it was worth giving it a go. I was telling this earlier today. They threw a program at me called Plan for Life and sent us to a school in Birmingham and said, "Here you go, good luck." And all my buddies and my peers, they were like, "Oh man, that system's stupid. I don't want to deal with that." And I took the Plan for Life word for word and went out there and did exactly what they told me to do. And within 6 months, I was the #1 agent. I had no idea what I was doing, but the Plan for Life knew what they were doing. And I realized at that point, I said, "You know what, if I can master this, I can master anything." And then I got a phone call one day that said, "Keith, we're opening up a internet department at the dealership. We really would like for you to head this up." So I thought about it. So I decided to get out of the insurance business. I don't know why I did that. And I went into the car business. But today I'm glad I did that because I always tell people, I said I did a 1-year stint in the car business because that's what it felt like. But I learned a lot about sales in the car business. And then I realized, I said, hey, I don't want to really work like this for the rest of my life. So this guy recruited me back into the insurance business. So I got back in the insurance business. And he said, Keith, I need to talk to you. He said, man, we got this going on, man. I'm making $100,000 a year. You got to come talk to me. I said, all right, you got my attention. Like I told y'all earlier, my favorite color is green. All right. So I went and talked with him. And he said, man, we got leads. I said, leads? What is a lead? My knuckles had calluses on them from knocking doors at American General, man. I said, a lead? I said, I'm in. Sign me up. And that's how I started in the final expense business. And that was in the year of 2000. I worked with Lincoln Heritage. And from 2000 to 2002, I was able to attain a number 22 producer spot with Lincoln Heritage over an 18-month period. And if you know anything about those guys, there was about 4,000 agents there. And so I considered that to be a pretty high achievement for myself. And I was having a tremendous amount of success with Lincoln Heritage. And then I bumped back in to Tripp Davis at that point in time. And I really felt like I needed a partner. Somebody that can encourage me every single day. And Tripp was there because I'd worked with him at AG. And he said, Keith, what in the world are you doing? I said, man, I'm working leads. And he was in the ordinary business. He said, what's a lead? Same scenario. I said, I got something for you, buddy. Let me show you this. And he was like, wow. And he was so humble. He had been in the insurance business for 7 years, and he said, Keith, will you train me? I said, you dang right I will. I said, come on, be my partner. And that's how Life Management Group started. It was right there. And me and Tripp worked day after day after day after day after day. We worked Saturdays. I worked on Auburn football Saturdays. And I don't do that, brother. I don't do that. No, sir. I'm going to be down there tailgating. My dad called me. I was like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, Dad, I'm making money. I got to go. And I realized through that hard work and perseverance and being successful being a producer, I realized that I could duplicate it. And for any of you in here that are going to be building a group is the art of duplication. When you can duplicate your process and yourself, then you will build a group. And I can remember an old manager telling me, he said, Keith, don't ever hire anybody unless you can sit them at your kitchen table and eat dinner with them. And I listened to that. And today I'm proud to say that I got 65 to 70 people around me that I don't mind having at my kitchen table. And probably every one of them's eating dinner with me at some point, either at my kitchen table or their kitchen table. So I'm going to tell you, a true factor to becoming successful in this business is put yourself around people that you can eat dinner with at your kitchen table. If you don't feel comfortable with bringing them to the house, don't do it. If you don't feel comfortable with going over to their house, don't do it. So that's the next key to the success in the business. So we rocked along, and at one point in time we've hit the $10 million mark. And what a blessing this business has been to me. And I'm going to tell you, the paycheck is the last thing that it's done for me. Derek said it best yesterday. When you do it right, you don't have to chase money. It'll chase you. So take care of others. Take care of others. Give them the shirt off of your back. Buy them lunch, because you don't know if they got enough money to do it. And don't ask them. Give up self. Completely give up self. Adam, give up self. This ain't about you, brother. This ain't about me. This is about this team. That's what this is about. If you're an individual producing out there, it ain't about you. It's about that customer. And when you go in a home, don't go in a home to make money. Go in a home to take care of their needs. And as Derek said, the money will chase you. I promise you, I know. I've done it. I've experienced it. Take care of others around you, even when you don't want to. Even when you don't have much money left. Take care of their lunch. Take care of those people. Give them a hug. When you get around your people or other people, make an investment in them whether you have a vested interest or not. And I can assure you it will come back to you. And you will be successful. That's a fact. I know I've lived it. It's who I am, and I'm not done yet in this business. And I haven't reached a level of success that I truly want to reach. But I can tell you one thing. I have figured out how to put myself around people that are family. And I encourage everybody in this room to do that. That's a tremendous part of my success. And understand this is not about paying bills. The insurance business is a vehicle to get you there. Be a part of a family. Love one another. Embrace that. I'm going to leave you with a couple of things here. I coach Little League Baseball, as many of you in this room do. And the number one thing I tell my boys before we play and after we play, I say, guys, at the end of the day, it don't matter what the scoreboard says. It don't matter. There's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser on the scoreboard. But if you put forth 100% effort plus 100% attitude, you're a winner no matter what. Remember that. Good week, bad week, mediocre week. Effort, attitude, winner. Period. That's what it equals. Excuse me for a second. So I want to leave you with something. What is effort? The E in effort stands for evaluate yourself daily. Where am I? What do I need to do? Determine the realities of the opportunity that you have. The first F is for formulate. Formulate a plan of action to complete your goals and reach your desired outcome. The second F is fix. Along the way, you'll face trials and difficulties. Find ways to fix yourself and stay on the path to your goals. Ensure proper things are in place to help you execute your plans. Or re-engineer the processes to obtain your desired outcome. Operate. Implement your plans of action and evaluate the results. R is for review. Always review and analyze your actions to determine the effectiveness of your plans. And the T is for transform. Always adapt and embrace change and challenges. If you cannot change, you are in the wrong spot. If you cannot adapt, you are in the wrong business. This business will change and you will have to adapt. When I was doing a lot of personal production, somebody walked up to me one day and said, "Man, how you get so lucky?" You know, who was it that said that? I'm not going to say his name. He didn't make it up. But he said, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So if you're prepared and you have an opportunity, you're going to be very lucky. Thank you.